Pre-sale condos suck. They're a terrible investment 99.9% of the time. And most people, they're finding out the hard way right now. You've probably seen a lot of marketing of the hottest pre-sale in town for right now. A lot of these realtors are pushing these really hard, just like their lives depend on it. For some of them, their lives actually do depend on it, because that's all they know how to sell. I'm not taking a dig at these realtors, but come on, you guys are selling investments that you know are shit. I've been doing real estate for 8 years. Started in 2016, and I've sold 150 homes. But I could count on one hand the amount of pre-sales I sold. Either I suck really bad at selling pre-sales, or I just don't believe in these. I don't believe that they're a good investment. There's several reasons why I think pre-sale condos are shit investments. Today, we'll go over that. We'll go over why realtors really push these so hard. There's several reasons why realtors do that as well. And then we'll also go over at what times I do think pre-sales are a good investment. There's only a few. I've lost count at the amount of time people have asked me to make them quick money in real estate. I get this call all the time. Hey, can you help me make money in the next 6 to 12 months in real estate? Can you help me double my deposit in real estate? People have done it in the past, but it's coming to bite them, especially in the last 2 years. And that's amplified in pre-sales. People get lured in by low deposits, 5, 10, 15% down. Long completions, 3, 4, 5 years, sometimes even 6. I mean, what's not to love about not having to pay a mortgage for 4 to 5 to 6 years, not having to close, pay taxes, and the possibility of flipping that and making money out of thin air in between? Everyone loves it, but it's not so great. And the biggest problem is the last one. A lot of people buy these investments, if you could call them investments. A lot of people buy these just so they could flip. They do not have no plans on financing it, closing it, and actually being a homeowner on that property or a real investor. They have no plans on that. They're just speculators. They just want to flip the piece of paper that they have. They want to sell that property, that pre-sale, to someone else and make a profit in between. But a lot of people do this without not knowing the exact risks that are involved. That's just why my moral in the past 8 years has not allowed me to plug people into these so-called easy investments. It gets even worse. There's a lot of people out there that have no means to close these properties. They don't have the ability to get a mortgage. They just put down the deposit, sometimes their life savings, and then just hope for the best. So where did this all start? So you're gonna have to rewind about a decade. Real estate prices have only been going up. Let's take an investor who buys a condo, a pre-sale about 10 years, let's say 10 years ago. A year or 2 years later, before completion, the realtor gives them a call and says, hey, your prices have gone up. If you don't want the hassle of owning, you could make some profit. You could sell to someone else. You don't have to do a mortgage, you don't have to close, no issues. Seamlessly, easy money. What do these people do? It's like a drug. You just made 50, 60, 70, sometimes upwards of $200,000, $300,000. You're at the blackjack table and you just won big. You're not going home. You're betting again. You might just have found the golden goose. You end up going and telling your friends and family, this is how you could make easy money. And now here come, speculators. I would not call them investors. You're not a real estate investor if you're speculating. And this was working perfectly fine until 2022. Until the Bank of Canada came in and pulled the rug on this house of cards. At that point, when they exponentially increased their overnight lending rate, prices came to a halt, the tide moved out, and a lot of people were swimming naked. A lot of people ended up holding on to that hot potato. As prices halted, the ability to actually flip those properties came to a full stop. Now you can probably see how that's a problem when you're someone that doesn't plan on completing on these properties.
You're fucked.
And as the prices halted, the ability to flip these properties evaporated. You could probably see how that's a problem when a lot of these investors, speculators, had no intentions of closing. Their only game was to flip, and they couldn't do that anymore. Now hold on a second. You remember that part where I said the Bank of Canada increased their interest rates exponentially and made it a lot tougher for people to qualify? Even those people that planned on buying these and holding on and they had no intentions of flipping were struggling getting mortgages. And you could imagine what could happen to the people that had no intentions of even trying to get a mortgage. Because when it came time to actually try to get a mortgage, good luck. You had no resources, no plans, you're about to get rinsed. Not only did the increase in rates make it tougher for people to qualify for a mortgage, even those that wanted one, it made it so that their properties weren't even appraising. So How much you bought that property for 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't even worth that much anymore. So now banks aren't only going to lend you at the value of current market value. You're going to have to make up the difference to close. A lot of people had to bring extra cash to the table, which they didn't even plan on, because I mean, it's very easy to plan 5 years out, right? A lot of people do a really good job at doing that. So it's another reason why these investments absolutely suck. That's why people are getting rinsed. So what happens in a situation where someone can't get a mortgage, can't complete on this property? Sure, you put a 5% deposit and you're fine. You could just walk away from it. I lost $40,000, it's a bad investment, whatever. Until you figure out that the developer can sue your ass. Developer can come after you for their costs of reselling that property, but then also at the same time, the difference that they sold it for. They'll just do a quick sale and take you to court. Enjoy court. On the piece of paper, you might be thinking, oh yeah, completion's gonna be 2028 June. But developers have an outside date. They could push that completion for a certain amount of time. And sometimes this certain amount of time is years. And that time, a lot of things can change for you. You might be thinking that 2028 is my completion, but it might not be the case. I mean, reason number 3, we've kind of already talked about this, market risk. You're locking in today's prices and hoping that the prices go up. A lot of things can happen in the market. Like someone else can become president or prime minister, and that could shift the economy. We can walk into another pandemic. It's too much market risk, I think. Another risk, in my opinion, is quality. I mean, you could do as much research as you want, and your realtor can tell you how good this developer is. The developer's sales people can tell you how good this development is. But you don't know exactly what kind of quality you're getting. That's why I think if you go to the resale market, you could take a look at the quality. You could take a look at the product. A lot of the times, the show home is not exactly how you're going to get the product. The developers in their contracts, which these contracts you're signing, which they're made by the developer's lawyers to protect the developer, they reserve the right to change material. So you don't even know what kind of material is going into this product. That's why I think resale is better, because you could take a look. It's tangible. It's not just a piece of paper. It's not a show home. I've been talking a lot about developers, but I mean, there's developer risk. I mean, you probably heard the news. There's developers going bust left, right, and center. And if that happens, what happens to your deposit? Honestly, at this point, a lot of people don't even know what happens to the deposit. Essentially, you're entitled to get your deposit back because the contract was broken. But if the developer is bankrupt, where are you going to get your deposit back from? And you're going to be in line with quite a few people. The project's already started. You're going to be in line to get paid, or waiting to get paid in that situation, with the contractors, with the lawyers, with the banks. A lot of these people have legal teams. You think the developer is going to give you your deposit back first? Good luck. If your pre-sale is looking to be like 6 years out, your whole situation might change. You might be married now, you might not be married in 6 years. You might put that deposit down together. I've seen that happen before. That's just so risky. What are you doing? I mean, so many things can change in 5 to 6 years. It's just not a smart investment. Here's another issue I have. Fees. Much higher taxes in most pre-sales. You got to pay GST, 5% GST compared to property transfer tax, which in most cases is lower than the 5% GST that you got to pay. Hard cash that you got to shell out. You can't mortgage that. Not to mention, another reason why I don't like pre-sales is the higher closing costs. Most of the time, pre-sales, because they're brand new, you end up paying higher taxes on them. And then when you come to upgrading, developers are going to be charging you for an air conditioner, which is probably worth $2,000. They're going to be like, here, give us $10,000 for an air conditioner. You want to upgrade the cabinets? Here's another $15,000. You want another stall? Here's another $40,000. It's just not worth it. And here's issue number 80. You don't know what the strata corporation is going to be like. You don't know if they're going to be good, if they're going to be bad, if they're not going to be able to handle situations. If you buy a resale property, if you buy a resale condo, at least you could, figure out if the strata corporation is handling business properly. But you won't know that when you buy a pre-sale. And reason 69 why I hate these pre-sales is you can't do an inspection. You're already locked into that contract. You've already removed subjects, given the deposit. So when you walk in on first day, you're given some green tape, you plaster on the wall, you don't like this. But if there's any other bigger defects that you don't know about in the building, you're going to be relying on the developer's warranty. And sometimes they aren't the best. But if you buy a resale, you could get an inspection. You could get your own third party to go in, inspect the property on your behalf, to make sure that it's up to par. Make sure there's no issues, no foreseeable issues. Cover your ass. Another reason why resale is much better than pre-sale. Issue number 420, the contracts. They're written for the developer. They're written by their developer's lawyers. So they make them in the favor of the developer. A lot of these developers now want assignment fees. They want a piece of your pie. I mean, that assignment market is really quiet right now. It's flatlined, but it's gonna come back. And in that situation, I think these development fees with the new flipping tax, just in general, just flipping is not worth it anymore. I mean, it used to be 10 years ago when you were the first one to the gold rush. But now everyone has a pan and wants to do the exact same thing you were doing. The risk is not worth the reward anymore. And on top of that assignment fee, developers have made it so that you can't put your properties on MLS. A lot of the developers have restrictions on how you could advertise that property because they still might have units that they're trying to sell. So your only avenues are exclusive units. You could try to get your cousins to buy it. You could try to get your friends to buy it. Your realtor can try to get their friends to buy it. That's only options they have. They cannot put it on the broad market. They cannot put it on the MLS. I've seen developments like this. When you're restricted in that sense, you don't really get to capture the whole market and you're not going to get the best bang for your buck. Now let's flip the script. You buy a resale market. You could do whatever you want with it. You could sell it, you could rent it. That was the drum roll. Biggest risk is just the sheer amount of pre-sales that are coming on to the market. So Surrey Central has 15 to 20,000 new units coming to the market. Essentially, you could forever build up. The amount of space that we have is not landlocked building up. You could just build as much as you want. There's a lot of units coming to the market. I think that's going to change because now developments, at this point, a lot of new development has just halted just because of interest rates and doesn't make sense for developers. So I think in 4 to 5 years, you'll see condo prices start to rise again, but for the foreseeable future, they're going to be stunted. That's, in my opinion, that's the biggest risk. All right, some juicy stuff for you guys. At the beginning of the video, I told you, I'd tell you why realtors push these pre-sales as much as they do. One of the biggest reasons why they push these is because it's pretty easy for them. It's a one-stop shop. I mean, they put out a video and then 50 people come to them in one spot. They could just sell them. They don't have to move. They don't have to drive in a car. The only place they have to drive to is the show home. People are going to come there, you sign a contract on, next person come there. It's a one-stop shop for them. When in reverse, if they're selling resales, they're going to have to take that one buyer to multiple homes and then sell something. In a pre-sale, they could have multiple buyers come to one home. It's just so much easier for them. Another reason why realtors sell these pre-sales is because they're the shiny object. They're the shiny material. Developers put thousands and thousands of dollars into their marketing. So when you show up to that show home, I mean, it's hard to not walk away tied into a contract because everything looks so shiny. They, at times, put more effort into the show home than they do the final product. Now, aside from the ease of location for realtors, some of these commission structures are insane. I've gotten emails because, I mean, you get signed up to these emails. Honestly, I have no idea how these places have our emails. Maybe our office gives them out. No idea to begin with. But, I mean, I get emails from developers all the times for new developments. And sometimes these bonus structures are $30,000, $40,000 above standard commission. So you're gonna get your standard commission. You could sell a $600,000, $1 million pre-sale. You'll get your standard commission, which in that range is probably gonna be 10 to 14,000. But on top of that, you're gonna get 30 to 40,000. So when you're getting paid $30 to $40,000 to sell someone an overpriced unit, there's a big incentive for you to push people into that. And a lot of people do. A lot of realtors do. They collect these commission checks. And a lot of developers also have incentives. The more people you bring in, more money you're gonna make. The higher your bonus is gonna keep on getting. If you bring in one person, you're gonna just get the standard. If you bring in 5, you'll get the standard plus another 40, 50,000. Pre-sales have been easy money for realtors. If you're making 40, 50,000 on $1 million pre-sale, that 40, 50,000 is gonna take you selling 4 or 5 $1 million homes. And that one deal is just so much easier. Why wouldn't you do it? At one point, I wanted to end this video and do it myself, but my morals don't let me. So the next time you see a realtor telling you that this is a vadia deal, Now you know why they're doing it. Easy money. Bonus for the people that watched all the way here. There are some times where I do like pre-sales. If the developer is very reputable, I mean like extremely reputable. There's only a handful of these all across Canada, to be honest. Like, absolutely love the location of where that pre-sale is going up. And that's where you want to live. If you want it just for an investment, I would rather see you get a resale elsewhere and start collecting your rent right away. But if you want to live in that building, go ahead, buy it. That is the only time I think pre-sales are good. When you actually want to live in that certain location. That is the only time. There's no other time that pre-sales are a good investment. Buy a resale. Better yet, give me a call. I'll help you buy a resale. I'll even walk you out of buying a pre-sale. I just did my best to do it. So if you're looking to buy a pre-sale, give me a call. Let me walk you out. Let's buy you a resale. My name's TJ.